welcome to the Clock End Talk, an Arsenal podcast. I'm your host, Tez. You can follow me at Gooner Tez. Each and every week, you usually got Tony and Schwinn, but Schwinn had to pass us up this week, Tony, so it's only you, mate. You can get you at clockend_talk. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, it's a bit much saying we have him each and every week. It's like a full moon. You rarely see it, but he's quite bright when he's here. So.
No, exactly.
Probably the nicest thing I've ever said about him.
I was going to say, you're actually been pretty nice about him. Pretty bright while he's here. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's gone crying after losing the XG debate, so it's what it is.
And if you did miss that debate, you can catch that on our Patreon site. And look, I don't ram it down everybody's face. If you want to catch up, you cough up $1 or $2 or whatever and join our Patreon patron members, and you can get our bonus stuff, and you'll find that on our bio on our Twitter account as well. So I'm absolutely hopeless at sharing stuff like on the account. I don't ram it down everybody's throat every 5 minutes. So okay, just a couple of other quick little things I want to touch on before we get into Arsenal. So people probably seen a tweet come out earlier, Big Head Podcast Network. We've actually decided, we've aligned ourselves a little bit with them. We'll see how things go. So that's, watch that space, I suppose, Big Head Podcast Network. Basically, they're just a network, a podcast network. They've got plenty of followers, plenty of podcasts in their little family, and just another little way of us branching out and seeing what we can do. It got me thinking, though, because they actually said there's some T-shirts. They're going to put some T-shirts and coffee cups and stuff in a store, and if somebody wants to buy a T-shirt, that's great. I can tell you now, everything we earn from sales and stuff, and as I've all, Tony will probably agree with me, everything will be going back to the listeners. So it'll be similar to our patron stuff, it'll be going back into that little kitty for giveaways and things as well. So, but
yeah, I mean, the zero we're going to earn from T-shirts and mugs will go exactly back to no one, because there will be nothing.
Hey, come on! I was actually thinking of some great ideas for some T-shirts, and you got to have something with watch football with your eyes, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't own the copyright to that.
Yeah, you won't. Oh, well, we can sort something out. We've got to have fence sitter for Schwinn. And I'll
put Koscielny phonetically on the shirt.
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to say. You'd have to have Koscielny for me. And there's the trio of T-shirts, I suppose. I don't know. We'll see how we go. Well, Legend's another one that I wouldn't mind as well. I'd come pretty close to that, so...
Move on.
So anyway, look, that's just a little bit about the Big Head Podcast Network, and basically it's just going to be, as I say, a little network of podcasts that we can reach out to. Also during the week, just quickly, I have no idea how I even come across this. I think it was an email, Podcoin. So a shout out to our Podcoin listeners, because I had a look at some stats there today, and there's plenty of you people about too. So Podcoin, I think it's an app. Well, it is an app, and you get paid for listening. You get 1 point per 10 minutes or something along them lines. Using the code word CLOCKEND, you'll actually get 300 bonus points. So I don't know, check it out if you're into that. You can get some... I've seen Dinky Dyed Donuts or something, Tony. So.
Dunkin' Donuts, isn't it America only?
I have
no idea what you're talking about, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it could be American only, mate. I'm very new to it all as well, so I don't even know where the bonuses are, what country and whatnot. So, Podcoin, so check that one out. Look, fuck me, dude, I sound like an advertising billboard here.
Yeah.
One last thing, I have to shout out to our Finland listeners. I know you're there because I see you. So shout out you guys this week, because I'm blown away by how many listeners we have in Finland. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening, and a shout out to them. Okay, let's get into some Arsenal stuff, Tony.
About time.
I noticed. Okay, well, let's touch on Zaha because there's some rumours going around about Zaha. Sky News. Did I see that just a minute ago? Something about Sky News put something out and then took it away or something along them lines.
Yeah, they done an article saying he put in a transfer request. I don't know how long it was up for because I only saw a screenshot, so I only saw it after it was already gone. But they put an article up saying Zaha, who is now... It wasn't like a... I don't know if it was a typo or something because it wasn't like breaking news, Zaha puts in transfer request, which is probably what you would expect if they believed he had. It was just written in an article. It was like Zaha, who has put in a transfer request, but Arsenal haven't yet matched Palace's valuation. That was a screenshot I saw. So it does seem more just like a typo or someone placed it in error. But then, as far as I know, I could be wrong. I don't think they've put it back up without that typo in. So it is all a bit weird because you'd have thought if they just made an error, they would just put whatever they was meant to say. So they would put, I don't know, Zaha, who is thought to want to leave Palace, blah, blah, blah. But they haven't put it back up at all. So I don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, a bit odd. And the other winger was this Everton. I know very little about him. Obviously, he played in the Copa America and raised a lot of eyebrows. I think he was the man of the match in the final as well. Thoughts, well, let's talk about Zaha and Everton for a minute. Who would you prefer and why?
Zaha. I just think he's exactly what we need. I think from what I've seen of Everton, which I'm not going to lie, isn't a great amount, but he's more in the sort of Alexis mould where he tries to come in and get shots off with his right foot. Whereas I know Zaha plays on the left and is right-footed, but he beats him on the outside. He can beat him all ways up. He doesn't need loads of space to beat him, and it's not like he needs 20 yards to knock it and run. I think Zaha's got the power for the Premier League, the physicality, which I don't think Everton has. Some people think it's worthless. Some people think it means a lot, but Premier League experience would mean he'll hit the ground running. That's not to say Everton wouldn't. I mean, look, I don't really think we're after Everton anyway. I think it's all Edu's come and it's a chance for his agents or the press to build up his name. But I think when you get someone like that, who especially if they've never played in Europe, I think the pace of the league, how regularly we play, obviously the weather, you're kind of taking a gamble. Whereas with someone like Zaha, they've been here for years. It's nothing new. The weather's not going to be a surprise. He's London born and bred, although he plays for Ivory Coast. So for me, it'd be Zaha without a doubt, to be honest.
I seen during the week you put a poll up, simple poll. That was the other day, actually. Everton or Zaha. 44% said Everton, 56% Zaha. Which I said to you was pretty close. Like, wow, that type of blew me away. Considering,
I saw someone else done a poll. Yeah. They got around the same votes. I think it's around 8,000 we ended up with, give or take, and it was dead on 50-50.
Yeah, right. Wow, that's.
But I mean, I do wonder, and this is not me saying other people are wrong. I wonder how many of... So on ours, it would have been about 3,500 voted Everton, and on this other one, it would have been about 4,000 voted for Everton. I really do wonder how many of them have seen him beyond 5 games.
Yeah, well, I was actually reading a few of the comments in that poll, and I'll just touch on a few things, because there was a couple that I thought, you make a very good point. Akash says Everton, age 23, value 35 million.
Wrong.
Okay, wrong. I'll just continue. I'll just continue quickly, and then you comment. Zaha, 26, value 80 million, but he goes on and says Everton's pace, skill, dribbling, finish, goal. He's a goal scorer. I think he doesn't touch much on Zaha though, so I'd imagine he voted for Everton. And there was a few similar comments about Everton, obviously age 23, value around, 20 to 35 mil is what I was type of reading. But a lot of people are pointing out the fact that the sell-on fee, so, if you sell him in 2, 3, 4 years down the track, is actually going to be better than, obviously, a Zaha spending 80 million and no sell-on fee at all. What's your take on all that?
Well, I mean, look, the Everton fees, the fees that are being reported is for half of them because he's partially owned. He has third and fourth party owners. So the fee is quoted around 40 million euros is what Gremio want. But then you have to pay the same to, I think his agent owns 10%, some other company owns 20%, and someone else obviously owns the remaining 20%. So the total fee would be around 70 million euros. And to be honest, the fee for Zaha won't be that much. The only part I do kind of agree with them on is the potential sell-on fee. Because in 4 years, if you go to sell in 4 years, Zaha would be 30, Virgin on 31. Probably not worth anything, really, or not worth a great amount, whereas Everton would be 27 in his prime. But who's to say he doesn't come here and flop? Like, just because he'll be 27 in 4 years doesn't mean anything. If you're presuming he's going to be fantastic, then yeah, he will be worth more in 4 years. But there's no guarantee he'll be worth in 4 years what he's worth now. The same works for both of them, I think. If you go to sell in 2 years, they could both be worth more than what you potentially pay for them now. But yeah, for me, better the devil,
Yeah, the Zaha, obviously Premier League does mean a lot for me. I just thought it was an interesting point with the sell-on. I thought, that is an interesting point.
I think most people that commented on that said Everton and commented all went on the price, but they went on a price that is for half of him. So he's cheaper because he's 40 million euros. Yeah, half of him is. So if you want to cut him in half, you get half of him. He won't be much use. And the thing is, in England, it's illegal. I think most of the world now, it's illegal to have third-party owners. It was always a big problem when teams were buying from Portugal because they used to have that same. Everyone used to have a third-party owner in Portugal. So I remember when City brought Mangala. I think they paid something like 48 million for him because they'd agreed a price and they didn't realise the third-party issues and end up having to pay an extra 20% on top. But they were so far down the negotiations and they'd obviously decided that they wanted him that it just became stupid money. It's very rare to get a player especially a top-end player from Brazil especially, but it used to be a lot of the world without third-party ownership because the clubs aren't too rich. So they get like businesses and stuff to fund either help with the wages or help with the commercial deals or whatever. They help with something. Yeah. And then for that, they take a stake in the player. So they're like, we'll pay this player's wages because you maybe can't afford to have a player on high money. But when he goes, we own 10% of him, for example. It's so common in some parts of the world. And it has been reported. I think people are just seeing what they want. It's like, as you said, he said, 20 to 30 million for Everton, but 80 million for Zaha. Well, we're not going to pay 80. And like it's reported everywhere that it's not going to be anywhere near 20. But because that's what they want to make one sound better and the other one sound worse. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. Zaha, I think we spoke about it. What do you I think we'll definitely go in again. But are we thinking 30? What they go 40 before? So they've got to up it to a 50 or a 60 plus one or two players. Now, El Nenny's not going to offer you much.
I wouldn't say 50, 60 plus one or two players. If the first offer was 40 total, then even say you go 40 and add a 20 million player on it, that's still double. It's an extra 50%.
Who's your 20 million player though? That's what I'm struggling with.
Putting a name out. I'm just putting a thing out there. You saying 50, 60 plus a player, they wouldn't go that much. Okay. I think a total deal. I think if we do get him, it will be a total deal around the 60 million mark. Whether that's 40 million cash and 15 worth of player and 5 worth of bonuses or something along those lines. I think it will be around 60 will be the figure. There's reports that they're looking at Jenkinson. I don't know how much they're coming from the Arsenal side to try and make things seem a bit different to what they are. I mean, you may only put a 2 to 5 million valuation on him, but it's another thing that goes into deal, and it also cuts away that United's 25% sell-on clause because they don't get part of that value.
Oh, yeah. Everton, he gets a visa pretty easy.
Full international, I'd imagine so. I know he's not played a shed load of games for Brazil, but I mean, obviously the Copa America is there, Euros essentially, and I think he started pretty much every game. Well, he definitely played the main part in the tournament, so I'd imagine it'd be pretty comfortable.
Okay. I did see an article today that Alex Iwobi, he's a bit worried if we do sign one of those two players. He thinks that's the end of him at Arsenal.
He's said he's come out and tweeted about an hour ago saying he's been completely misquoted, and it's not what he said.
Okay, right. It's a nothing story then.
Also, I mean, I don't know if he said them things and they've taken them out of context, because the quotes I've read were like a bit like, if he comes, it'll be harder for me, but I'm going to have to work harder to prove myself. But then the headline was like, Alex Iwobi says he's going to quit. Yeah. So I don't know if he's actually said them things, but the headline is completely different, or if he's just not said them at all. Because his tweet was just like, the media love to make shit up, essentially.
Okay. There was one other, I'm just trying to think, from Real Madrid alone. Who was that again?
Ceballos.
Denny Ceballos. Yeah, so thoughts along there?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all pretty much know the same. From what I've read on Twitter and from journalists and whatnot, it seems like the deal will be done and concluded pretty soon. From what I've seen of him, good player. Again, the only thing that may worry me is the intensity of the league, especially if he's going to play in the middle, a bit deeper. Bags of ability, the kid can play. But that's the only thing that worries me. Especially, I mean, the rumour is a year loan, and some people are saying there'll be no option to buy. Others are saying there will be an option to buy. I think without an option, I'm not sure if it makes too much sense. I mean, saying that we are having a winter break, or a bit of a winter break this year, I was going to say that would be a problem, the weather and the lack of a winter break, but we're kind of changing things there. So maybe it'll be all right. I don't see the value too much in getting it without an option to buy. Even if he improves us this season, saying that, if he improves us this season, he's the sole reason we get Champions League. It's the stroke of genius. Yeah. But is he going to be that? I don't know if he's that good enough, or that type of player that's just going to come in and get you Champions League. I mean, I would definitely do the deal. As I said, I think he's a good player, but I would really like the option to buy in. So if he's shit, send him back. If he can't, not if he's shit because he's a good player, but if he can't take to the league or doesn't fit for whatever reason, you can send him back. But you don't want someone coming in and having a breakout year where the whole world sits up and takes notice, and you've got no chance of getting him.
Yeah, it makes it hard, doesn't it? And you'd be best to answer. I honestly can't remember him watching him at Real Madrid, and I've watched a couple of Real Madrid games last season and that. So I'm struggling to remember watching him, to be honest. But I did.
By all accounts, him and Zidane hate each other.
Okay, so he probably hasn't started many games last season than season before. Well, not last season.
Yeah, no, so it was weird because the rumour initially was that the deal was all agreed with Real Madrid for us to have him on loan, but they just needed Zidane's approval, obviously, for him losing a member of his squad. But Zidane had a personal issue or a family issue, so he was away and couldn't approve. Wasn't about to approve the deal. But obviously they hate each other, so it would have been a very quick, okay, get rid of him.
Piss him off.
Yeah, I mean, he had a very good Euro under-21s this summer, and I think that's why he's probably coming to a lot of people's attention.
Okay. I was reading, this is a Ramsey replacement? A like for like, do you think?
No, I mean, look, he's not... I still maintain that you can't replace Ramsey in style. So there's no like for like. I think he's a better technician. Hasn't got the energy, which I think goes without saying. I don't think there's anyone that really has the energy of Ramsey. Probably moves the ball better, but won't get you as many goals. That sort of player, more of a passing player than a true box to box. Has an eye for goal from range. I'm guessing you've probably seen it, or most of the listeners have seen it. He scored a screamer for Spain. I think it was against Italy in the under-21s from long range, where he made a yard and bent it in the top corner. But it could potentially take over Ramsey in terms of playing in the team, but not in terms of style and whatnot.
Just sticking with Real Madrid quickly because we're also, I don't think this will ever happen, but what do you make of Zidane's comments after Real Madrid's friendly match with Bale, and now all of a sudden Arsenal are linked?
Yeah, I mean...
Did you see it?
You don't know. Yeah, I've read the quotes.
Yeah, I read it. I didn't see it, sorry. I read the quotes, whether the quotes are exactly, but...
Yeah.
It seems a bit, yeah.
I mean, it looks very harsh, especially when you consider what Bale's done for them in terms of the trophies he's won since he's been there. But we know he's on a stupid amount of money, and there's been rumours for ages of him saying, basically, I'm not leaving because I'm on this amount of money and it's not going to get paid elsewhere. So we don't know what's gone on behind the scenes. It does seem like a really shit thing for Zidane to say, but again, we don't know what's happening. I would say probably about half hour before we recorded this or started recording, I was scrolling through Twitter and all of a sudden everyone was like, oh, Bale to us, is Bale coming to us? I saw our favourite sports writer, is that what he calls himself, saying, oh, I knew Arsenal were in for a big surprise. And tomorrow he'll claim that it's about something else, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know why suddenly Real Madrid have said Zidane said I don't want Bale anymore, and that's turned to us. Like, he's 30, he's on 600 grand a week. If it's a transfer, Real Madrid would still want serious money for him. To be honest, I think they struggle to get rid of him.
Do they like him?
I think it's very similar to the Ozil situation, but the manager's openly said he don't want him, whereas Emery's very subtly made it. Well, he made it. I thought he made it quite obvious last season. He didn't really want Ozil there. Other people may disagree, but they've come out and said it like balls out. We don't want Gareth Bale, but the situation's very similar. There's going to be a transfer fee. Even if there's no transfer fee, Bale would want a huge signing on fee. He's on 600 grand a week. Even if he takes a half cut, he's still on 300 grand a week, which is still making one of the top 5 paid players in the Premier League. No other country in Europe really pays that money. Does he fancy China? Probably not. MLS won't pay that money. So I think they're in a bit of a sticky situation with him.
Just a hypothetical. Do they want Ozil back and maybe Bale our way and...
No.
No, something like that? No?
No, I can't see it.
Okay. I think that was about it. Oh, there was one crazy one, and I nearly fell over laughing. Lukaku to Arsenal, Aubameyang to Man United, clean swap. I read. I don't.
Yeah, I've not seen that, and it's laughable. But it's the same as the Icardi yesterday. Apparently, I don't even know who the journalist was. But Icardi has ruled out a swap with Aubameyang because he said, I want to go to Juventus so much I'd never play for Arsenal. Right. Do you think Arsenal really rang Inter Milan and said, we'll give you Aubameyang, give us a just give it a rest? Like, it really is silly season.
It was, actually, I shared that on the WhatsApp, didn't I? I was like, what the fuck is going on? I've already seen it before because I commented on someone's spelling of Icardi. I think that's about it. There's probably a couple on the questions, so we'll touch that back on them if there is. 2 friendly matches we've had. I'm reading lots about Eddie because he's got 3 goals now in these 2 friendly matches. I was talking to Schwinn yesterday. I don't know where you were, probably asleep or something. And I said to Schwinn, because we've actually discussed about Charlie Austin, back in his day, I suppose, a couple of seasons ago, I suppose, he was linked to Arsenal, and now Southampton had come out and said, we want him out, and we're happy to take $8 million. And I said to Schwinn, I wonder, someone to get that down to $5 million, would you have him at Arsenal for a, 4th, 5th type striker in the Europa League, FA Cups and things? But I forgot totally about Eddie, and then you see these couple of games and I'm thinking, oh fuck, well, we've got some depth here now.
Yeah, I mean, the only worry is that he didn't see him as an option at the end of last year. He used him he obviously brought him on at Burnley, and he brought him on a couple of times when the game was dead. I think it was 3-0 down at Wolves, and he brought him on with about 10 minutes to go. And he looked bright, but he really didn't want to use him last season. And that's the worry. It's not on Eddie's ability, but it's on will Emery actually want to use him when the chips are down and it actually matters. Like Brighton at home, last home game of the season, we needed a win. If we lost, a loss and a draw were the same thing. It meant we couldn't get top four, and he didn't bring him on. And I think he made a change in midfield, but not a particularly goal scoring change. Same against Palace, 3-2 down, didn't give him any time, or didn't give him enough time. So the worry is he going to use him? He looks good. I'm not saying he looks great. I think people are going so over the top. He scored a few goals and people are going, oh, he's fighting for a starting spot and blah, 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 blah.
Well, it's a desperation and no football, and then all of a sudden we got football and he's scoring us.
Yeah, anyone that it works both ways, because by all accounts, Nelson's not been brilliant. And look, this is not me jumping on his back because he's not been brilliant. I've been saying all along he's not ready to start for Arsenal. But 2 weeks ago, people wanted him to be fucking captain and starting every week and our key man. And now you're saying, oh, shit, loan him out again. It is exactly what you said. They've just gone from nothing, so they're so reactionary to everything that happens.
Well, I've got...
Good pass, great player. Oh, he gave a ball away. Shit. Literally, it's in the same sentence.
Well, actually, I'm glad to touch on it, because that was my next question was about Nelson, because I've seen he's copping an absolute fucking gobful at the moment. And Arsenal fans are jumping right on his back. And I think we put out something... might have been towards the end of last season, and everybody said, lads, don't forget, we've got Nelson coming back next year. And I don't watch much German league football, and I said, how's he going over there? I think you or Schwinn said he's going pretty well, and now all of a sudden two friendly matches and they want him fucking loaned out again.
In all fairness to him as well, he didn't have a full he came back late because he was with the England under-21s. He played in the Euros, played and scored. But it's just so reactionary. I mean, he'll be at Arsenal next year. I don't think he'll go back out on loan. Eddie's a more interesting one. I don't know if Eddie goes out on loan. I think, because they said, Emery said in his press conference after the game yesterday that they considered letting him go in January, and they convinced him to stay, and they've said the same to him now, stay and be a part of it. I mean, it's probably a good thing for him that we haven't signed a third choice striker, and it may indicate that he's that man. As I said, my only worry is that when the chips are down, if you're 2-1 down at home to Tottenham with 10 minutes to go, it's our first big home game, do you trust Eddie to chuck him on when you need a goal? Because he would have trusted Welbeck in that position.
That is the worry. Yeah. Do you trust him?
It's all on if Emery trusts him. And this is not me digging Emery out or digging anyone out, but it's going to be pointless if we're in a position where we need a goal and you've got him sitting on the bench and you don't trust him to bring on. Whereas a Welbeck, he did trust to bring on. Say Liverpool at home last year, we were 1-0 down, 20 to go. He brought Welbeck on, no issues. You don't even hesitate. Oh, Danny's there, bring him on. We need a striker. If Eddie has that, if he has that same level of confidence in Eddie, no problem keeping there as our third choice striker. But it's how he thinks of him, which is my only concern.
Well, that's where my thinking was around Charlie Austin, and I thought, well, for $5 million. Look, I don't think it'll happen, definitely won't. But I was like, oh yeah, he's probably a striker you trust. Schwinn said, look, no, he wouldn't take him. I was, I would take him, but then I remembered about Eddie, and then I went, oh shit, I'd rather give Eddie a go. What was you didn't comment?
I wouldn't take. Look, to be honest, I'd rather take Danny Welbeck back than get Charlie Austin.
Yeah, I know, but it's not an option, is it? He's gone.
Well, Charlie Austin isn't an option.
No, I don't think so.
It's an option because you've said it is. So yeah. I'm saying Danny Welbeck is. He's free.
Yeah, true. Okay, what else we got? Any other standouts in these games that you've seen?
I'd never heard of Robbie Burton, and he's been pretty good. Didn't know who he was.
No, never heard of him either.
No, been good. I don't know. Apparently, Lundberg's had a big part of him going on tour, and they've transitioned where he used to play, and they've changed his role a bit, and he's really impressed. But as I've never heard of him, I don't know where he played before. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to be in the first team. next season, but it's always good to have someone that you've not heard of and they kind of make a bit of a name for themselves. The other one is Saka's impressed again. He impressed quite a bit last season. I'm not sure what everyone so Willock's looked good again. I mean, every time Willock's played in the last 8-9 months, he's looked very good. I think he will be part of the first team squad very consistently next season. I said that last week.
Smith Rowe?
Saka, he's not played.
Okay.
But to go back to Saka, everyone else they've given first team squad numbers. So Smith Rowe, Willock, Reece Nelson, Eddie have now got what they're saying is first team squad numbers, sort of in the 30s. In the 20s, below 30. Whereas Saka is still 77 or 87 or whatever he is. So I don't know if that indicates that he's not in their plans as much or if he's going to go out on loan. But again, he's impressed. He is still young. He's only 17, 18. But it'd be interesting to see what happens with him because I think he's the only one of the boys that sort of we've seen as coming through that haven't been given a first team number.
Interesting then. Okay, and we look like who we play next in that. I'll be honest. Who?
Real Madrid on Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. I haven't watched any of it, so it's on.
No, I think English. I think usually, and I think it's the same this season. The English season starts a bit earlier, so we're usually more into our prep, especially the games you get early. That our players are more prepped and they're just fitter and more used to playing football. So, people that we beat Bayern Munich and they had Lewandowski and Gnabry and Neuer and Kimmich. Like they had names playing, Boateng. But if we're 2 weeks ahead of them, it kind of don't really matter what names they got playing. 2 weeks is a long time in terms of fitness and match sharpness.
I've seen a couple talking about after these two games. Apparently we don't need our defence fixed no more because they're looking a solid squad. I can't really comment, but that's what I read.
We were awful at the back yesterday.
Okay.
I mean, I still maintain that the way we're going to go about it is get another attacker and defend from the front.
Try and outscore the opponents.
Yeah, I'd say because obviously Emery said that on his first ever interview as Arsenal manager, his first press conference, and we didn't really see it last season. We saw a shit defence, but I wouldn't say we were trying to go and outscore teams all the time. But I read a stat today that I think Emery has made every defence he's ever had conceded more the following season. So at Sevilla it went up, and then at PSG, I think they said he took a team that they conceded 19. And in his first season, they conceded 27. And in his second season, they conceded 29. And obviously, with us, he equalled the same as what Wenger done the year before. I think it was 51. So it doesn't bode well.
That doesn't at all. Doesn't at all. I don't mind if we outscore opponents. I don't mind if the Zaha comes in.
It's not even... I think, as I said, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that I think if you get a solid attacker, then the fullbacks don't have to overlap as much, leaving them less short at the back, or you can drop an extra midfielder in. You don't need a goal-scoring midfielder or a 10 if you've got 3 strong attackers. So then you get a bit more security elsewhere. Last season it was insane that you knew our fullbacks were going to be our furthest players forward at all time, and it just made it a lot easier.
But he soon stopped that. Remember, was it the first couple of games they were defending up in the halfway line?
No, yeah, he stopped high pressing, but he didn't stop our fullbacks being our only attacking outlet. Instead, we were basically cutback FC last season. That was the name that was going around.
Yeah, exactly.
And as I said, if your fullbacks, both of them at the same time, are both high up, then if you get countered, and it's like we have one holding midfielder. In general, we're not even holding midfielder because Lucas was high pressing a lot of the time. So then you had Xhaka and 2 centre backs, and centre backs is shit. So
concede 51 goals.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of questions from our listeners. And I'm sorry if you did miss out because I did put it out late because I rattled Tony a couple of hours ago and said, let's throw a pod out. And bit of.
To be fair, it's a lot more. Was it last week? We done it on like 45 minutes notice or something. So we're getting better.
I just realised because he's in the WhatsApp group, Sugar Daddy Clay.
Oh yeah.
He did say he was going to change his Twitter name.
Yeah, he sent a screenshot when he done it.
Oh, did he? I didn't see it. Did Heavy D fit into the belt he carries around at one point in time?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Fucking that bloke.
I'm not going to go into the story because I can't. But one of my mates personally blames me for Heavy D being an Arsenal fan.
Oh no.
I can't.
Oh, you got it. That's got to.
No, I actually can't.
That's got to be a patron.
No, I can't.
Okay. Do you think the We Care Do You movement changed anything? Shortly afterwards, we were told we will be getting Saliba, or did Kroenke come through with a massive cash infusion?
You said you were going to sit on the fence about this. I'm not. I think the whole thing is a load of shit. I said this at the time. I don't know what they wanted. What was the result? When they wrote that statement? And look, fair play to the people for trying something. I just don't think they tried the right thing because I don't know what the perfect result would have been. The statement was so contradictory, it was unbelievable. It went from we want our Arsenal back to we kind of want a sugar daddy, which is where the name Sugar Daddy Clay came from. It was... I just completely don't get it. And said about Arsenal, like not having Arsenal DNA, but we've just moved. I said it to someone. I think we've probably got more ex-players in the system than pretty much most other clubs have. We've just moved Freddie up. We've got Per running the academy. We've got Pires there as an ambassador. Baldy's still there. Like Ian Wright is rolled out for promotional stuff all the time. I know promotional's not exactly at the club, but they're still involved. There's links to the club all the way through. Adams was in the video. And again, it works with the club. I don't understand what the statement was asking for. And at that point, I was like, fair play, they've tried something. I can see where they're coming from because there is frustration. I just don't think the statement was worded well to say exactly what they want. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not really on board, but I get it. Then after Kroenke's come out and done his little press conference, which I think was probably planned anyway because it was only about 6 hours after the statement. So I'd imagine that he didn't see the statement and think, fuck, I've got to talk. I'd imagine he had a press conference planned anyway, but then he had to speak about the statement. But then after that, I think, okay, he's giving you answers. Now give him a chance to put these things into action. He's answered your questions, but then now there's people jumping on it like, oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Well, what's he going to do in 3 hours? Like, I'm not a Kroenke fan by any stretch of the imagination, but you can't ask people a load of questions and they say, okay, we're going to fix this, this and this. And then 2 hours later you go, oh, it's all talk. Well, what more can it be in a couple of hours? I don't really want to overly criticise the people involved, but I feel like, not everyone, I feel like a lot of them just done it to kind of boost their name. And what I did find really embarrassing, and let's be honest, we would do the same. So this is a criticism of everyone. It was signed with their fucking Twitter names. How much more can you scream, this is only about me, than signing something with your fucking Twitter name? And don't get me wrong, if they'd have come to us, it would have been Clock End Talk. It wouldn't have. So I'm not really digging anyone out because we would have probably done the same. But that to me just screams self-promotion. That's all it says to me.
I think I might just sit on the fence.
Yeah. And the other thing, I'm just checking now because...
Look, I agree with everything you said, and you know my thoughts on it all. And I said to you at the start of the podcast, I probably won't touch too much on it because I just think it's a bit embarrassing. And now I see fans rolling on there yesterday. I think one of the boys mentioned it, Hack-On in the WhatsApp group. Like, now they're doing videos. So you got your response from Kroenke. That wasn't good enough. So now let's jump on and go again with videos of yourself.
But again, what Just a video of someone sitting in their fucking 15-year-old car saying, "We care, do you?" What does that achieve? What are you asking for? What is the end result? I still don't understand what they want as an end result. And these videos are doing nothing. I mean, to be funny, they have exposed some people who hide behind a faceless account, and they've now done a video. I mean, I sent you one yesterday of someone who is I don't know if they're claiming to be in the know or is always trying to correct people on their posts, and it was like a 12-year-old kid or some shit when they done their
Yeah, no, it's just embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Did you see who's that fat bald-headed cunt? Like Clive? Did you see Claude, whatever his name is?
I've not seen anyone's. To be honest, you know.
Oh, mate,
you know this. I muted the hashtag as soon as it came out, so I've not seen anything. I'm just trying to actually find the actual statement now because we're Arsenal Fan TV on it, like with their names listed.
They've done a couple.
No, do you know on the original statement it was like it had listed about 7 Twitter accounts?
No, I don't think they were.
See, this is for me where it screams self-promotion because I'm not the biggest Arsenal fan. I'm not a fan at all. I don't like them. But if you're trying to, they're saying, "Oh, we've done it because we're trying to reach out to the masses," and people don't know who Fred is, but they know who at whatever is. But if you're trying to reach out to the masses, the first thing you do is, whether you like them or not, if you're actually trying to do the right thing and say what you're trying to do, is you go to Arsenal Fan TV because they've got the biggest audience of any Arsenal media account apart from Arsenal.
Or Arsblog. His name was on at Arsblog.
Arsblog can't be bigger than Arsenal Fan TV, surely.
Oh, jeez. No, probably not, but geez,
I wouldn't
definitely
even
the
anywhere.
second. Definitely the second.
Yeah, but as I said, if you're trying to do this to reach out to as many people as possible, then there you get them involved. There's whether you like them or not. That's when they're saying, "Oh, we're doing this. We don't care about the Wenger in, the Wenger out, this out, this out. We're trying to do it for the good of the club." Well, in that case, you get the people with the biggest audience to put the statement out, or to not put it out, but I mean, like part.
Well, they've come on board with it now.
12 followers name on the bottom. Like, why are they there?
They've come on board with it now, and they've probably come on board because they've seen the hashtag trending, I'd imagine, and probably gone, "Oh shit, we better jump on board."
In that together, and they've reached out to these accounts. So, because I said it was like 7 or 8 Twitter accounts. So, and then they've gone through them and gone to that person, that person, that person. If you're trying to get big, you go to the biggest, which on interactions is Arsenal Fan TV.
Yeah, it probably is.
Or as I said, even again, I don't like the guy. Go to DT, go to Troops, go to Claude. These guys have so much interaction that you can't ignore them. For me, the whole thing, it just screams self-promotion.
Yeah, no, it is. It's, and I question the timing of it because I said to you boys, like, let's say Arsenal pull a big signing out in the next. Well, let's say we get 2 or 3 of these players that we're linked with. Where does this put this hashtag?
I don't know because I still don't know what the hashtag wanted. What question was it wanted answered? What is the result that makes them go, okay, that's finished now? Because for me, the statement wasn't clear. It said so many things that kind of were opposites of each other. I don't know what they want. I don't know what the resolution is.
Well, they got a response from, like you say, Josh Kroenke, and
that wasn't the response they wanted apparently. Because now, as you said, we've got these videos about, like, there's a few people in the WhatsApp group that were fully on board with it. They kept sharing the link and saying sign it, and I said to them, there was a few of us in the conversation at the time, and I said to them, what do you actually want? Like, please make it clear to me. I'm an idiot, obviously, because everyone else seems to be behind it. What do you want to happen? And basically, all they could bring it back down to was, we want him to spend money. But then they would say, oh, but we want to keep the Arsenal, what's the word?
DNA.
The way we've always been run. Not the DNA, but the tradition. We want to keep the Arsenal tradition.
Yeah.
But we also want him to spend 300 million. They're complete opposite things. We don't want to be self-sustaining, but we want our Arsenal back. What you mean, the Arsenal that's always been self-sustaining? Like, the whole thing just didn't make sense to me, and all it came down to is anyone that I spoke to that answered basically just said they wanted a shit ton of money spent, but they also wanted to keep the Arsenal tradition, history and class.
I'm not going to question anyone's loyalty because everybody's, they're a fan for their own reasons and whatnot. But I do wonder, why do people all of a sudden, look, we all want good players, but do you really want to be a Manchester City where you're spending 200 million?
Well, that's the thing. They think no. They go, no, we want to keep our tradition, but we want to spend 300 million. Like that's. Look, there is people out here that could give me a good answer, but I've not spoke to anyone yet that's actually given me an answer, and I've gone, yeah, you know what, fair enough.
You want to clock and underscore talking? You'll respond.
I'm going to start spamming, and I'm probably going to start ignoring.
But yeah, I questioned a few things on it. I questioned, like I said, the timing. I thought, well, if it comes to the end of the window, then I'd be thinking, well, okay, everybody's got a right to be pissed off. But I kept bringing up as well in the WhatsApp group that we're in, and you guys, if anyone wants to join it, just flick us a DM and I'll add you to it. Imagine being a Newcastle United fan.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. I know what you mean. They're obviously in a worse state.
They're in a shopping spot.
Yeah, but you can't judge yourself on, like, it's like if your house is full, like, in ill repair and you need a new roof. You don't go, oh, but that homeless guy's got it worse. Like, you have to deal with the situation you're in. You can't always go, well, no, it could be worse because or someone cooks you a shit dinner and you're moaning about it because it tastes like shit. But you go, well, that guy starving. So you got to compare it to the situation you're in. They're two shit examples, but
yeah. Well, I heard the interview that the boys at the, what are they called, Gooners podcast now or something. I heard their interview they'd done with Josh Kroenke, and look, I could see where Josh was coming from. I agreed with pretty much everything he said. You're the fan. Let us deal with the club. Basically, I want to win. I'm here to win. I'm passionate. I don't know what more you want. I really don't.
Yeah, I saw. I've not heard the interview just because I don't really listen to anything. But I know I saw reactions from it and people getting pissed off at him saying, like, let us deal with the business side. You're fans. Your job is to be a fan. But I think that we've said this for a long time, that people have got confused and they're not really sure what a fan is anymore, and they take on so many more roles, including us. I'm not saying we're angels and everyone else is devils, but the role of just being a fan, I don't know if it's due to social media or even just standard media where everyone sort of knows or thinks they know everything about the club, that the role of a fan has changed so much. And I think he's saying, look, your job is to be a fan, but we're not. We're fucking business analysts, we're transfer experts, we're everything.
Well, he's putting people in place, and he said he wants to win trophies. He's here to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, as I said, I think it's not like, say, in the 70s where a fan went on a Saturday at 3 o'clock, watched the game and enjoyed it, moaned about things, and that was sort of it till the next Saturday. Now, again, because of the way media is, you're 24/7 involved with everything. You want to know about the new kit deal. You want to know who the sponsor is, how much they're paying. Like, we know that Arsenal got the third best kit sponsorship deal. 20 years ago, like, who knows how much JVC were paying us? Probably fucking no one. Do you know what I mean? It's just the role of a fan has changed. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think people have got annoyed at that statement, and I can see where he's coming from, but it's never going to be like that again. It's not just Arsenal. You go and speak to, as you said, a Newcastle fan. They'll tell you that Sports Direct haven't paid this, what their net spend is. Mike Ashley's not doing this. Steve Bruce is that. They know, like, the whole thing around the club, who the targets are, who's shit, who's good, who had the two biggest shit in the toilet and didn't flush. Like, everyone knows everything now. So the role of a fan is not just at the game anymore, which is what it used to be.
You questioned a couple of things on that statement, and one of them was the atmosphere in the Emirates. Now, you go to every game and have done for many years. Do you agree with that? Is the atmosphere pretty poor at the Emirates?
I would say as a standard, yes, it can be very good, but as a norm, it's not the best. I mean, obviously we've got them young kids. I can't remember what they've called themselves. Ashburton Army. Yep. They're trying to do things, and the clock end was a lot better towards the end of last season when they did start. I don't agree with everything they do, but credit to them, it did improve things. I don't think the stadium's really built to be loud, if I'm honest. Because at times I've been there, and this is not just an Emirates thing. I've been there with loads of grounds where you go, oh, fucking hell, we were loud today. And then someone else in the other end goes, oh, it's really quiet today. I didn't hear, like, why weren't your stand chanting? And you're like, what? But I don't know if that's the acoustics or whatever. But again, it's not our job as fans to get into that. The atmosphere could be better. I mean, again...
Well, when you say better...
Do about that?
Yeah, when you say better, though, are you talking... like somewhere along the lines of Dortmund fans, or you talk, like at what?
No, I mean, look, Dortmund is probably the epitome. Dortmund is probably the best of the best. To be better, you don't have to be the same as the best. You just have to be better than you currently are. I think a lot of Arsenal games are. Look, there is times it's very, very good, but then there is times where it's basically silent. I don't think we really. Look, away games are a completely different matter. At away games, you're pretty much chanting at all times. There's no real silence. At home games, it's definitely not like that. And
is it a miserable kind of a cold place and you just couldn't be fucked singing? Is that what's going on here?
As I said, there's games when it's very good and very loud, so it is capable. Like some people blame...
No, but you have told me, you said, fuck, it's cold today.
Oh, no, look, it's England. There's games where it's fucking freezing. Yeah. There's been games where there's been like 20,000 people there because it's too cold to turn up.
Yeah.
But, look, if we were playing in that temperature... like, one that springs to mind is there was loads of snow. We lost 3-0 to Man City at the end of February. There was no one fucking there. There was about 20,000 people there. It was silent, freezing, like just everything horrible you could imagine. Mm-hmm. But when we beat Barcelona 2-1, was it 7 years ago now, however long ago it was... that was also in February. If the game's right, the fans will be up for it. I think the issue is, again, in the olden days, the fans inspired the teams. Nowadays, and it's not just Arsenal, again, I've been to every Premier League ground multiple times. In general, the players have to do something and then the fans push them on from that. Whereas before it was the fans were the 12th man, is the famous saying. Now the club has to do something, the team has to do something in order for you to get behind them in general.
Okay, let's go on. Let's roll through these questions because I imagine that topic will come up a few times. MAA Gunner says, which youth players do you think will feature heavily in the team and which ones will be loaned out? You did touch on a couple earlier. Nelson's, you said stay. Eddie,
I think Nelson and Willock will definitely stay. Eddie, I think he will stay, but I wouldn't be amazed if he went. Smith Rowe, I'm not sure about because obviously he went out on loan and didn't play. Was carrying an injury.
Did I see that Red Bull bloody? They want him back as well. Did I see?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They've just signed Lookman, who they had the year before from Everton. So I'm not sure what they're looking at. I would guess they want him back because they had him and he didn't play. Essentially, he played a few minutes. So I wouldn't be if they wanted him in January. I see no reason why they wouldn't want him again. So I'm not too sure on what's going to happen with Smith Rowe. And as I said, Saka's another one I'm not sure about. He is very young, so it's not as big a blow for him to not play as much first team football. Not giving him a first team squad number, I can't see him playing another year with the under 23s because he looked a level above a lot of the times last season, and it would almost be a waste. So I'm not really sure with him.
Martinelli, he's obviously going to stay, and Mafropanos, thoughts on him?
Fuck knows. He's not. Again, I don't think, off the top of my head, he's featured much pre-season. I don't know what's going on with him. I just don't think Emery fancies him, to be honest. And look, I know I criticise Emery a lot. That's not a dig because I don't particularly fancy him. But
yeah, I fancied him for one game.
Everyone did.
This kid. Yeah, I don't know. Wenger obviously saying something in him. Fuck me.
I don't know. Look, Wenger didn't want to use him for a long time either. I'm not trying to make this a Wenger-Emery debate. Wenger played him for 3 games and he got sent off in the 3rd one after making a massive balls up. And then he didn't play well at the back end of last season when Emery brought him in. And there was chances for Emery to bring him in before where we actually needed players and he didn't use him. So it would look like Emery doesn't fancy him. And let's be honest, but barring them two, look, he's probably had 2 outstanding games, 2 average, and 3 or 4 bad. A lot of fans are choosing to remember the good games and going, oh, look what he could be. But at what point do you have to go, well, actually, he's been average or bad more than he's been good? So Algernon just didn't have 2 games where everything worked for him. But in general, that's not his level. You can't just take everyone's best performances. At some point, you have to start factoring in the not so good ones.
Is that just he's young though? He's inexperienced, and a couple of different
maybe,
things.
But the only way he's going to get experience is by playing. If Mourinho doesn't fancy him.
Would you rather him over Mustafi though? Because Mustafi cops so much slick, like.
Well, but that's the issue. That's what I was just about to say. We're so bad as fans. You go, the only way he's going to learn by playing him. But then if he plays and fucks up, everyone's on his case. Why are you playing him? He's not good enough. He's not experienced enough. So.
I don't agree with that. Because Guendouzi kept he's been brilliant for a 19-year-old last season. We were pretty.
Only because he started brilliantly.
Yeah, but fans were pretty good on Guendouzi last year. I think too fucking good, actually.
But then you could go the opposite. Look at the hate Ainsley got. Look at the shit Iwobi get.
Yeah. I suppose. Fucking Iwobi. But I think Iwobi cops
Look at Reece Nelson. He's had 2 bad friendlies.
Yeah, I know. He's copping it, poor cunt, hasn't he? Iwobi cops it because his end product's fucking woeful.
Yeah, but you're giving me a reason why he gets it. So what if Mavropanos slips and gives a goal away, or gives the ball away and they run through and score? You can't go, well, he's getting shit because he gave the ball away. I said that at some point, if you want these guys to gain experience and improve, you've got to give them a bit of leeway and expect these mistakes, but we don't as fans. Again, I'm the same. I'm not criticising anyone else or saying anything I wouldn't say about myself. We want us to be the best now. I also want us to give people a chance. It can't happen. Even the lit, right? Everyone would say in 5 years he's going to be the best centre back in the world. I don't think many would argue with that at the moment. He makes mistakes fucking all the time, but they're giving him that chance. Especially in England, I'm not just going to say at Arsenal. In England, we don't give anyone a chance. You make a mistake, you're shit. That's it. Unless you've had 10 good games before, and then you go, that mistake was a blip. And that's where I think Guendouzi got away with it, because the first month he was way above expectations. And then he slipped off after that, but everyone was still remembering the good performances. If he'd have had them the other way round, he would have been catching so much shit. We paid $8 million for this kid from League 2, fucking can't play. But because he started well, he got away with it in a sense.
Yeah, he did.
Same with Torreira. I know he's not young. Same with Torreira. He started well. Back end of the season, he was poor, if we're honest. But we go back to the start. Again, if he'd have been the other way around, 28 million, what a flop, too small, not quick enough, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we're funny, aren't we? We're odd fans.
It's not. I don't think it's an Arsenal problem. I think it's a it may happen in other countries, I don't know. But in England, it happens with everyone.
Yeah. Happens. It happen everywhere. But that's what fans do. That's what we are as fans. We can do that. We're entitled to do that as fans.
You can't then say, why aren't we playing?
It's hard to do that.
That's the problem. We want to take both sides of the coin. We want to say play him, but then if he doesn't play well, we criticise everyone else, even though we were saying play him. It's the reason why, and I've said this before, and you know, and the WhatsApp group will know, when a lineup's announced, I always say what I think. Because then if I say it's shit, Emery's a cunt, and we win 5-0, then I'm the cunt, clearly. Or if I say it's amazing and we lose 3-0, I then can't blame Emery, because if I say, I would have picked exactly that team, then after the game you get people, why has he picked Mavropanos? Why has he picked Kolasinac? Why has he picked Ozil?
Oh, yeah, you got to be upfront. You can't.
Yeah, but as I said, I always say it, because then if I start come on here and go, why has he paid Kolasinac? You can go, hang on, you picked him.
Yeah, exactly.
But as fans, we don't do that. As fans, we'll go, good lineup, and then we lose 3-0, and you go, what a prick, why did he pick that lineup?
Criticise, yeah.
We want to live on both sides of the coin.
These younger players, like these players who go out on loan, do you think that, I think a Mafropanos would have been better off Huddersfield loan or something? Would you rather see him playing in the Premier League with the lower teams more so than going away overseas, Smith Rowe and things? Because we always talk about the Premier Leagues, are they Premier League ready? It's the most hardest competition in the world, and this and that. And then you send them out on loan to the German league or Spain or wherever, would you rather see, like, would it be essential for their development to be playing for a Huddersfield or a Burnley or something along them lines in the Premier League?
It's a very difficult one because you want a style that's the problem. So say Reece Nelson. He's a winger that wants to get on the ball. He wants in the running behind a lot. Huddersfield have the ball probably about 5% of the match in reality. Even if it says they've got the ball 30% of the time, 20% of that's in the air because they're going long to Meunier, for example. So it may teach him a bit about the defensive side of the game and to maybe make the most of when they do have the ball. But in terms of playing for Arsenal, which is obviously the ultimate aim, is to get back in the Arsenal first team, it doesn't really teach them too much. To be honest, I think the only one I can really remember where it's worked, where we've loaned them to a Premier League team, and there's loads that haven't worked. I think Jack went to Bolton, and I didn't see it working at the time. I think everyone I remember at the time was like, what's he going there for? They're kind of anti-football, and he looks like he's going to be a sort of Xavi Iniesta type of player. But it did work for him. But in general, you go Carlos Vela, Serge Gnabry, who are fucking good players, and they still are good players. But they went on loan to them kind of teams, your West Broms, and it just didn't work for them because it's a completely different style. And I think that's why players go abroad more so.
Geez, that's a name we let go, isn't it?
Well, Gnabry.
Yeah. But like Mafropanos, though, you touched on Nelson, and I understand, with attacking players, but defensive players.
No, but he's a ball-playing centre-back. They want someone to pass out from the back. If you're at Burnley, your aim is to hit Ashley Barnes on the head, who's going to be 70 yards away from you. The defenders nothing against Burnley because it's effective.
Yeah.
But the defenders at Burnley, the keeper goes long to the striker every time.
Mm.
So how's he going to learn to deal under pressure with the ball? Because I was talking to someone the other day about this, and who was it they were talking about? They were talking about someone, and they were like, oh, anyone can pass the ball 5 yards. And I was like, look, I can pass the ball 5 yards. Can I pass the ball 5 yards when I've got 3 men closing me down and I'm in my own area? There's only really one option, and these men can run 100 metres in 11 seconds. Like if you've got an Aubameyang and a closing you down and a Ramsey player cutting off the angle, can I then play at 5 yards? Probably not, is the truth. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. How does Mavropanos deal with that if he spent a season just getting neck ache watching the ball go over his head?
Yeah, not much experience.
Well, it's experience, but it's not.
But it's not. That's not
preparing
helping
you for Arsenal.
Yeah,
which is the point of a loan. It's obviously to get experience, but also preparing you for what you're coming into.
Mm-hmm. You're a voice of reason today, aren't you?
I always am. I don't know why you're surprised.
Trippier to Atletico Madrid. MAA Gunner says thoughts on that. Well, how the fuck has Trippier ended at Atletico Madrid? I just want to touch. Who's that bloke that I talk about on Sky? Was it Sky News?
Shea.
Yeah, is he a Tottenham fan?
I have no idea.
Because I was listening to I think it was the Transfer News podcast the other day, and he said, and I'm not going to question him because he's a authority or he's up there, but he said that Atletico Madrid is a downgrade for Trippier.
I mean, the only thing, there's 2 reasons I can think they can say that. One, Sky don't have the don't have La Liga anymore, so they're making it sound like a second-tier competition. Secondly, Tottenham did get to the Champions League final. Atletico went out in the last 16 to Juventus.
Yeah.
So you can go, last season Atletico finished higher in the Spanish league than Tottenham did in the Premier League, but then Tottenham got further in Europe. It's not a downgrade. I think anyone half sensible. But when Sky's product is the Premier League, that's all they sell. They don't have any foreign football anymore. They've got MLS, but they don't count. So they have to big up everything. Unless you go to a Barcelona, Real Madrid, who everyone knows is a superpower.
There was another guy on there, and I apologise that I don't know his name, but he was actually saying, "You get off the bloody gas, mate. Come on, you're dreaming." So it was a little debate actually, and he was talking Atletico have been into 5 Champions League finals. They've won the bloody La Liga however many times, and and rattling off all these stats at Atletico Madrid. But for me, it's an odd type of move.
I think it's a strange move. I don't really see how he fits in. He's not brilliant defensively, which is what Simeone likes. His delivery is, I'm saying that I don't play for Tottenham, his delivery is unbelievable. The boy can cross the ball. But it looks, saying that, Morata is very good in the air. I was thinking more of João Felix, but he's going to play shorter. So maybe they see it as the supply line to Morata. And I don't rate Morata, but he is good in the air. So I think it's a bit of a strange one, but you don't get many fullbacks that cross the ball as well as he does. Look, there is some, and people will probably tweet names. Oh, this person does. There is some. I'm not saying he's the best in the world, but he's up there for a fullback. So maybe that's what they're thinking. We're going to have Morata in there, and especially if you can cross from deep, which Trippier can, he doesn't have to get in behind. Maybe that's their thinking.
National team, we've got the Euros coming up next year, I think it is.
I don't think Trippier even makes the squad.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I think they're probably going to go with 2, maybe 3 if they include Walker as a kind of centre back, which is what they've done in the World Cup. And I think it'll be Trent, Alexander-Arnold, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Kyle Walker.
Okay, so you don't even think that does it?
But even if he was at Tottenham, I don't think he'd have made the squad. It's not a case of because he's abroad they won't watch him. I think as soon as Wan-Bissaka got the move to Man United, now he's going to be seen more. Yeah. So for me, if they were picking the squad, I don't think he gets in it unless obviously it's a year away. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be
there's plenty of different things that'll happen. I thought with Southgate it'd probably. I thought it'd made if he plays really good there, you probably
of course
standing above the rest.
Season, he will get picked.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's in the best 3. Yeah. I don't think he's in the best 3 right backs.
Okay.
He doesn't. For me, his delivery, I would say, is better than Alexander-Arnold's. Most people would probably argue, but then Alexander-Arnold is better defensively. He's quicker. He's probably better at joining in the play. He switches the ball better. So I don't see what he gives you. Why it worked with Walker is Walker was all pace basically, and Trippier gave you the delivery. So there was 2 opposites. It depended on what you wanted on that day. Whereas I think, for me, Alexander-Arnold can cross nearly as well as him, very close, but then also gives you extra stuff as well.
MAA Gunner, how much of a great PR speaking person do you think Josh Kroenke is? I thought he handled it well. I don't know what more Arsenal fans could have asked for.
Well, look, I agree with you, but my answer to the question is obviously shit because he hasn't shut him up. A good PR man gets you buying into what he said, and for whatever reason, as I said, I read it and think, okay, that's as much as you could have done. But
hang on a minute. I heard it through the podcast of the Gooners, them Gooner lads. Fucking hell, I'm hopeless. Gooners, whatever it is.
They were Gooners.
Gooners. It was Gooners in the USA, but I never remember what they changed the name to. Mike and Andy. So I heard it on their podcast. Was it national media? Was that audio on Sky News, BBC, or was it only things like their podcast?
I don't think the audio... Obviously, the quotes are everywhere. They done an interview on Arsenal.com as far as I know. But in general, in the national press, I've only seen, quotes.
So, yeah, it's strange.
Well, I'm not one
it's a strange one. Because if you're doing a big PR stunt, you're getting that shit out in everyone's face. You're not just going to, with all due respect to Mike and Andy, you're just not going to an audio of a little Arsenal podcast.
No, it wasn't. It was a press conference, wasn't it? So there was loads of press there.
I think there was 5 press there.
Yeah, but they would have been the Mirror of the Sun, which basically covers. If you're in the Mirror and the Sun in the UK, you've been seen. Their readership is pretty much the whole country.
Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't have seen it in Australia had I not listened to Mike and Andy.
Yeah, but that's just probably more a point of the Premier League. It's to give an example, if you get something into Murdoch Media, it don't matter if there's only one reporter in the room. If it's something to do with Murdoch Media, it's going everywhere.
Yeah, you're getting it everywhere.
It's the same with the Sun. And I mean, the Sun is Murdoch owned.
But they've only got to put it on Arsenal Twitter.
No, they put it on Arsenal.com as well.
Oh,
as
they
far
did
as I
put
know.
it on. Okay.
I'm pretty sure they did. I've not looked because I've already read it all on Twitter, but I'm pretty sure it's on Arsenal.com as well.
Okay, MAA Gunner, do you think Aubameyang will be made to play out wide more this season?
I don't know how we're going to play. I said this last week. If we go 4-2-3-1, I think yes, but then my worry is all the wingers we've been looking at or linked to strongly are mainly left wingers, and Aubameyang can't play on the right. I mean, he's obviously better through the middle, but if you're going to put him on either side, it's on the left. With the links to Zaha, Everton, obviously previously Carrasco, Neres, they all play from the left, sort of no real doubt about it. So that makes me think he doesn't want to use Aubameyang wide. But I can't see, if we're playing 4-2-3-1, is he going to drop Lacazette? Is he going to play Lacazette as a 10? Who plays on the right if we do that? There's so many unanswered questions, and it makes other questions hard to answer because you just don't know.
Where's Pepe? He plays on the right, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the only one we've been linked with that plays on the other side. I still wouldn't be surprised, and I said this last week, if we get a Zaha or a Pepe and we just go, you three are playing up front, like anywhere, do you know what I mean? Mix it about, sometimes pop up on the left. If Lacazette drifts over to the left, Aubameyang, you go through. Do you know what I mean? Make sure there's a balance. Yeah. But you're not fit. That wouldn't surprise me if we play like that at all, because it's a fucking nightmare to defend against.
Oh, would I?
Like, we've seen it. I mean,
if Emery's game to do it.
Say that the MSN Barcelona team, you know that Suarez plays through the middle and they had Neymar from the left and Messi from the right was how it was lined up. Did they fuck any of them play there? Because Suarez is an energy guy, so he runs everywhere. Someone covers his space. Messi drops in, and
they're all over the place.
Yeah, and I really wouldn't be surprised if that's how we go next season if we get one of these names.
That'd be good. That would be good. Why haven't we heard anything concrete about sales? Just the odd article, but nothing strong. Look, obviously you'll have an input here. I actually was thinking about. Well, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. And keeping in mind, the Premier League window shuts before every other window. So is there any rush to sell?
Wasn't it on here last week? It's talking about it.
Was I? Okay. I can't remember. I talked. Okay.
It's a tough one because you're looking at certain players. Jenko is only going to go to another club in England, so that would need to be done before the deadline. And you just got to, I don't know who wants these players. I think that's more of an issue.
Fucking hell, isn't that bad?
Like,
El Nani, who wants him?
Yeah, the issue is if it goes beyond the English window, clubs kind of know you're fucked. So they can lowball you. You can say, yeah, we'll sell you El Neni for 5 million, just to put a number on it, nothing against El Neni. And they go, 2. We offer you 2 million. You go, no, 5. Fuck it, keep him. Like,
you're fucked.
That's it. Stop. You know what I mean? You can get massively lowballed on a player if you leave it till it's that makes it a buyer's market. Whereas football at the moment is a seller's market. It's fucking obvious to all. When you're talking about 80 million for Zaha, Maguire, 80 million essentially for a winger from Gremio that no one had heard of 6 months ago. If football is a seller's market at the moment, there's no João Felix, 124 million, was it?
Yeah,
like,
crazy.
It was a seller's market. But if you wait until your market's closed, essentially, then it's a buyer's market, and that's kind of what you don't want, because then you don't get the fees.
Wasn't Schwinn waffling on about Mkhitaryan with these wage structures, and we've got to get rid of him or some shit?
I think he said something. He read something that if we extend, he has a 30% increase or something, but we won't extend.
Okay. What else we got? Only positive about Europa League is that it's on Thursday, so I won't miss any Coronation Street, says MAA Gunner.
Sky Plus, my friend. Or Sky Q, as it's called now.
No idea what you're talking about.
There you can record programs. Like a video. You have videos in Australia. They've just come out there, right? Video players. You can record what's on the TV.
Fuck off,
Are they out there yet? Them and the little.
What about them for a fair lifetime? Actually, our viewing of football is actually, I think it's better than yours. Or you fellas.
You get more.
Yeah. We get more and we get it on demand. And we get it free.
I think it's saying that your Saturday 3 o'clock is better than ours because we can't show anything. Apart from that, it's probably pretty similar.
Okay. MAA Gunner says, what would be a satisfactory window for you?
I don't think we're going to sign a centre back. So for me, satisfactory would be one of these names. For me, preferably Zaha, Ceballos, Tierney. That would probably, for me, that's satisfactory. It's not outstanding, but I think it improves us in key positions, replaces what we've lost, and it's okay. Like, I wouldn't be disgusted if that's our window.
What do you think about that loan back?
What, Ceballos? Loan back? What are you on about?
When they loan him, well, we're not getting him till next year, apparently.
Oh, sorry, Saliba.
Saliba, yeah.
Yeah, you could have helped by telling me what player.
Sorry. What's your thoughts there? Because a lot of people are going, well, fuck, we need centre back now, and we've got to loan him back. Like, is this? Do you think it's a good deal for us still?
Look, if he is what everyone says he is, and he's gonna, like, how many times have we gone, like, said, oh, we missed out on that player, and he's become, like, we could have signed Van Dijk, we could have signed this person.
I know that. Yeah.
So if he is what everyone says, and look, it seems like the only way they were going to sell him, non-negotiable, is that he goes back next year. So if that's the only way you can get a potential world beater, you have to do it. Do we need someone? Arguably, yeah. But
what if we, let's fucking touch wood, this doesn't happen. I haven't put the jinx on us. What if we were down in 10th, 12th place? Emery gets the sack. I don't know. A new manager comes in. Let's say Mourinho comes in next season. Well, where's they put this fucking kid?
I think as I said, he's being talked about like a fucking generational talent. So I think anyone, if he is as good as they say he is, would want to manage him. I don't think it makes much of a difference who the manager is.
Okay. Just quickly, because you brought it up, Van Dijk. I see a lot of people talking about Maguire and Van Dijk, because obviously Maguire looks like he's going, from what we're reading, to Manchester United, and he's going for more money than Van Dijk ever did for Liverpool. But I just want to mention it because I've seen heaps of people saying, how can this be? If Van Dijk left today, what fee do you put on him?
Look, it's different from Liverpool. I think the point is he was at a club. He was basically on strike. That brings the fee down. He's at a club that weren't challenging, weren't as rich as Leicester are. I'm not saying Leicester are challenging. But no, I mean, he's well over 100 million. I don't think you could buy him now. I don't think Liverpool would sell him, but he'd be well over 100 million.
I agree.
Let's be honest, they paid 75 and he's improved.
Yeah, he's gone up. His value's gone up.
And he's also he's gone on to, he's now a Champions League winner. Before he was a guy that came 12th or something, whatever Southampton done. Now he's a team that came second, had a very good season, and been to back-to-back Champions League finals. So his stock has only risen.
Yeah, no, I see a lot of people saying, how can that be the case? I'm like, well, if Van Dijk left today...
Maguire's not an 80 million defender. Let's not be stupid about it. The price is the price because they don't need to sell. So they can set whatever crazy price they want.
And if you want to buy it, take it.
Yeah, as I said, it's a seller's market.
Hakon Larson, yeah, he makes a good point here because there's a lot of noise about Tierney. He's saying it's very quiet now. Is that a good sign?
I don't know if it's a good sign. I'm going to go back to what I said. I think it was last week. I said it before. When we're linked with every position we've been linked with, apart from the winger, it's been one person. So the centre back we've been linked with is Saliba. It looks like we've got that deal across the line. The midfielder, we've not really seen any serious links apart from Ceballos. There was about a 10-minute rumour of someone from Red Bull Salzburg. Do you know what I mean? We've not. There was 10 minutes of Marine was the answer.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Do you know what I mean? And then same with Tierney. There's been no other left back rumoured. So that just for me says to me they think they can get it done whenever they want. That's what I could be completely wrong, but that's what it says to me. If you're not confident, you put your feelers out and see what you can do elsewhere, as they have done with the winger. But with them positions, they've literally gone, it is you, like this person, you are our target, and that is it. And how short-sighted would you have to be to do that if you wasn't confident of getting the player?
You confident?
The way they're acting makes me confident. I don't know.
Yeah, I know we don't know, but like
same as anyone else.
Yeah, but just on what you read and what you hear, and the silence now.
The way Arsenal are acting around it makes me think it will get done, and it will get done very quickly once they actually want it. I don't even know if he's fit yet, and obviously he's not. Arsenal are back on. We play on Wednesday, so we're probably back Thursday, Friday, and I wouldn't be surprised if it all happens very, very quickly once they put their foot down.
I've seen our sports writer mentioned Celtic. He wasn't going to the. I don't know whatever they have there. The pre-season.
Yeah, Arsenic. Yeah, so they got like a meet and greet thing.
Yeah,
and which is a strange one. Well, it's weird. I mean, he is a Celtic boy, and they've said, they've done it to protect. Like you get Celtic fans, I've seen quite a lot saying, they've done it to protect him from all the questions. But these same Celtic fans keep telling us all the time he's not going. So what's there to protect him from? If you're so confident he's not going, send him to the event. And when someone says, "Are you leaving?" he says no, and then that's it. You're not going to keep asking him.
No, so it is a weird one that he isn't going. Like our old sports writer, he comes up with a bit of rubbish and shit at times, but I think he hit the nail on the head on that one, because I thought, you can't. You're pretty right, spot on. Like you look at Bella, and I think you or Schwinn said last week, I don't understand why he's going to America. Next minute I see him photo bombing Arsenal fans, meeting and greeting, having a beer, singing songs.
I thought he could only be going for the marketing. I said football-wise, I didn't.
Yeah.
Reason.
Oh, okay, yeah, but so that for me was just great to see during the week. I thought, good on him, to get out and amongst the fans and that.
You watched the game in the pub.
Hey,
you watched the game in the pub.
Yeah. But Tierney, you'd think be doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is Hector's not being linked with a move away. But I agree with your point. I'm just saying the difference.
Where are you up to? Hakon, we did touch on Zaha. We've probably killed all that. He's just saying the transfer, the requested, could it happen, he's saying. So, Sandeep, not sure if you guys caught the pre-season games, but we looked so open. Mustafi, Chambers, Jenkinson had some shocking moments. It maybe is only pre-season, and I hope Emery addresses this defence issue this season. Youth players have impressed, he said.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of it.
Sandeep says thoughts on the Josh Kroenke interview and the open letter by the fans. We've touched on that. MAA Gunner, what is the greatest song of all time? It's the greatest song. What's that song? It's the greatest song. You know that one? Tenacious D.
I have no idea what you're on about.
I don't know. Who's your favourite song?
I don't know. It's a difficult one. There's so many. It depends on your mood, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like if you're in a raving mood, you're not going to want to hear fucking, I don't know, Luther Vandross. But Luther Vandross is fucking amazing. But yeah, it just all depends on your mood.
No, it does.
You're the music guy.
Yes, here it is.
Yeah, I don't want to hear a clip of some random song.
Hey, it's the greatest song. That's it. This is the song.
Is it called the greatest song?
This is the greatest and best song in the world.
It's what?
It's called Tribute.
Okay, you can
Tribute.
So that is, according to you, the best song ever.
Nah, it's not. It's called Tribute, and it's about the greatest song in the world.
Yeah, but that's not what the question asked. I'm asking you, as you're a music man, what is the best song ever?
For me, it's probably Red Hot Chili Peppers' Under the Bridge.
There you go, move on.
How many questions did MAA Gunner ask in this thread, says Island Boy Gooner?
He can count next.
What about the lack of rumoured outgoings? We touched on that. Hackon says, we're not linked with any centre-back. Really? Thoughts on that?
I can't see him not getting one. Well, no, I mean, I can see him not getting one. I can't believe they're not getting one. I don't know if it's last priority, if it's going to be a smaller signing, especially if they've got Saliba coming in next year. So if they think, look, we're going to... Because he did basically say, Emery said in his interview, like, we're going to go for the big targets first and work our way down.
Mm.
If it looks like the winger's going to be the most expensive, and then you go back to, is it going to be Tierney? If it is, well, probably going to be Tierney. And then you go for your smallest signing last, and that could be a stopgap centre-back, a sort of 10, 15 million type player. Saying that, I don't know if you saw it, we had someone in the WhatsApp group, I don't even know who it was. They were messaging the other day, and they were like, Lewis Dunk will be an Arsenal player. Like, fact. I can't see it.
That. I
don't even know who it was.
No, I did see that, and I thought, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it.
Yeah.
But I think we may get late on like a small name sort of centre back, not even a name, but a small stopgap type of player.
Does Mustafi go this window?
No.
He stays. Socrates stays. I don't see us sign any centre back. Why? No, I don't. With this young kid coming in next season, I don't.
Because I think Koscielny will go, and because of that. I think they probably banked on not signing anyone. Is the truth. I think they probably thought we'll wait till next year, we'll get him in, blah blah blah. Because Koscielny's going, obviously it makes him a body light. So then I wouldn't be surprised if they bring in again, as I said, no one that's probably the type of centre back that makes people go, fucking hell, why are we signing him?
Well, I would, I agree. Yeah, maybe. I would think that might happen in January when they're going, shit, we've got a few, we need depth, injuries, fuck, what do we... Because I'm mainly concerned, and I know you keep saying about Maitland-Niles, but I'm a bit concerned about Bellerin. I'm worried about our right back position. And there is links of Danny Alves, but... Alves, sorry. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, does Callum Chambers stay?
True. Well, he can play centre-back too, can't he?
Centre-back, right-back, holding mid. He won't get a chance at holding mid, I don't think. But let's say there are options at right-back. I don't think any of them are fucking any good, but there's options there.
Hackon says, are the youth forced upon us because the lack of funds and bad decisions in the transfer market in the last couple of years, or are they good enough to make the step up in the first team as more regular basis?
He's asked Dave to write an article about this, so I don't want to say too much because I'm not trying to shit on what Dave's probably already started writing.
Okay.
But for me, just in short, it's probably a bit of both. I think if your first team's that good, like Man City, by the sounds of it, not that I've seen them, but apparently have some amazing youngsters, and in the friendlies in the last couple of games, they've had a couple that do look good. But you don't, apart from Foden, who's half breaking through, I couldn't name another City youngster, even though they're apparently amazing, because their first team is that good. So I think it's a bit of both. If your first team's that strong, it don't really matter how good your youth are, they're going to struggle to get through. So I do think this current batch of youth players are good, but it is also a sign that we're not so good in the first team.
Defenders, says Anthony Shepherd. Defenders, we need better defenders. Bit concerned we're not getting linked to any. Would you be happy to start the season with Mustafi and Socrates?
Happy, no. Surprised, also no. I think he wants to build the Holding and Socrates partnership this season. I still wouldn't be surprised if we start 3 at the back. I think a lot of people seem to be ruling it out. Obviously, we started like that way yesterday as well. To be honest, absolutely fucking nothing would surprise me at the back. I don't know what he's going to do.
Kernos says, would you rather we appoint an attack-minded manager with a leaky defence or one who parks the bus and wins often?
Look, for me, winning games is the key. I've said this before, if I was standing in May with a Premier League trophy being presented in front of me to whoever the captain's going to be, I wouldn't care how we've done it. The issue comes when if you're that kind of part of the bus manager, when things go bad, they're terrible because it's boring to watch and you start losing. Whereas when you're attractive to watch, and it's probably what saved Wenger's arse a few times, is that we were still after, not the last 2 years, but we were still half decent to watch even if we weren't winning. So you kind of get some leeway. If it worked, then there's nothing wrong with the Mourinho route, the 1-0, not particularly exciting. But as soon as it stops working, it becomes horrible because you don't want to watch your team just be shit for 90 minutes and lose 1-0. Whereas, like, say, I remember a couple of years ago, I think you remember it, we lost 3-1 at home to Man United and we absolutely battered them. We had 40-odd shots and just got caught on the break and whatnot. We 2-0 down after 8 minutes. But no one came out of that game with sort of any real bad feelings. It's like we played really well, we was unlucky on the day, De Gea had a worldie, blah, blah, blah. Had you gone to that game and we lost 1-0, so same result, you not got any points, but we parked the bus the whole time and they've scored in the last minute or whatever, you go, oh, what a load of shit. So parking the bus works when it works, but when it doesn't, it's fucking horrible.
What's it like, and I know you're thinking as a fan you want to win trophies and like every fan does, but what's it like as a fan who goes to a game, goes to every game and knowing that fucking hell, it's just going to be boring, and even though we win and it's still boring, like, are you happy to pay your money for that?
If I don't, it's never happened, but if we were winning, yeah. Look,
would you? I probably should say, would you go to as many games
if we were winning stuff? I couldn't care less how we played if we were winning stuff, because people could talk shit all they want. We'd still have the trophy up in the air at the end of the season.
Well, you are a fucking boring cunt, aren't you?
No, for me, success comes before anything else.
Yeah, but if I'm going to every game, and I'm shedding my money out, yes, I want to win, but I don't want it to be boring.
I'd rather win 1-0 than lose 5-4.
Yeah, I suppose. I do like that. I like entertaining football.
I like entertaining football, but if you're asking me what I prefer, winning or losing,
you'd rather win. Everyone would rather win.
There you go.
Joe, with Arsenal not linked with any replacements for Ramsey and being linked with left wingers, well, we are linked to one. We talked about him before. Do we think Iwobi will be more central season with him playing so well in the position for Nigeria in the African Cup of Nations and rotate Willock in the cup competitions?
I mean, he didn't play so well for Nigeria. This myth is ridiculous. I can't see him playing in the middle for us. I would put Willock above him as of now. I think he's going to struggle next season, to be honest, but I say that every year. I can't see where he fits in, to be honest. It depends. As of now, I can, but if we get the signings we're rumoured to be looking at, or close to, or whatever you want to call it, I don't really see where Iwobi fits in.
He says, or even being possible rotating player for the winger we potentially could buy.
That is potentially the only place I see him, but then is he going to want to be a player that only plays if someone isn't playing well, or plays the Europa League games or the Carabao Cup games when there's about 10 people there? I think this is a real struggle year for him. And I'm not saying that because I'm not his biggest fan. I'd love him to do well. But if we get what we're rumoured to be getting, I don't know where he fits.
Guns in Yellow Ribbon, they say, and I'm confused, what other social media channels do you review? Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, podcast?
I don't know. I don't know what the question means.
No, neither do I.
I don't know if they're asking what other things we watch or listen to or follow. I mean, let's be honest, just give them a free shout out, because Guns and Yellow wrote, what are they called?
Guns and Yellow Ribbons.
Yeah. I mean, I've never listened to anything, so that's not even me taking the piss, but I don't know what the question means, so shout out to them guys. We all listen to them.
Yeah, I listen on.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, no, I don't know what it means. Kevin Campbell says, "What signings would you make you convinced Arsenal are serious about rebuilding?"
No, this is it's a different question to what signings would I make, because I mean a lot of them are maybe not rebuilding signings. They're either rebuilding signings or not here and now. Say Saliba, who we just spoke about, he's a rebuilding signing. He's not a here and now signing. Obviously, in an ideal world, you get the best of both. You get someone who's good now but also going to be there for 10 years. Look, for me, Tierney probably fits that bill. He's a bit of both. Ceballos doesn't, because you don't know if you're going to sign him. Zaha probably doesn't because of his age.
Well, Everton, you'd have to throw Everton in if you're going to throw Zaha out, wouldn't you?
Yeah, he's probably more that a rebuild kind of signing.
Yeah.
But again, his level is unknown in how good he's going to be. So it's difficult. I think in terms of if we're going to go down a rebuilding route, I think you kind of use our current crop of youngsters and give them as much exposure as possible. And then you maybe do still sign players who are, you wouldn't say are rebuilding players, but they're the here and now, and the youth players are getting experience alongside them.
I'm already convinced Arsenal are rebuilding. I said it, I think, when Emery come in, I said, it's going to take, I think it'll take 3 to 5 years. It's a rebuilding process. What we finish every season while we're trying to rebuild is what's going to upset the fans a fair bit. Are people going to be patient?
Well, it's also going to dictate the level of the rebuild, because if you're in the Champions League, you can kind of do both at the same time. Yeah. So you can sign a 23-year-old who's very good now, but also still has a good level going forward. Whereas if you've got less money, then you're obviously going to have to do different things.
Well, and as Josh Kroenke said, the problem is we've got a Champion League wage bill on a bloody Europa League budget. So how do you go about juggling that as well? Why are you trying to rebuild under Emery? I think they're pretty confident. Like a lot of people, and we've said it last season, we weren't real sure what Emery was going to do, but from things I get, the vibe and what listening to different things, I think you're going to find Emery here pretty long term. I think they're trusting him to build this team. So
I think that's why they've moved Freddie in there. I think that if all goes well this year, they'll give him the 1 year extension, and then slot Freddie in. If all doesn't go well, I still think they'll give him the season and then bring Freddie in. I think within 2 years, Lundberg will be the Arsenal manager.
You reckon? Yeah, okay.
And it goes with the rebuild because all these players are coming up with him. So Saka, Smith Rowe, Nelson, Nketiah, Robbie Burton, Oli Inca. Who else is there? Probably some others I'm missing. Have all played under him last year. So Willock, sorry. They're coming up with him. So, and I think that's why he's being brought in now to kind of help their transition, because some of them are probably good enough to be first team now, or in and around definitely. And then by the time they're fully fledged, they'll be with players that they're with, a manager, that they've been with.
Zaha signing, and I said, in Everton, he's obviously a rebuilding player, but Zaha, you said that isn't. I agree with you, he isn't. What type of signing is that? Is that a statement signing? Is that a...
Well, it's a here and now, isn't it? Look, if you get in the Champions League, if he gets you in the Champions League, then it's basically paid for his fee already. And then
that's
and you
the
can
aim.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have to improve now as well as build for the future, ideally, because you don't want... Look, I'm a huge Aubameyang fan, everyone knows that, but you don't want too many Aubameyangs who are going to be finished in 2, maybe 3 years. So I think, and as well, that one thing that annoys me, and it's not just about Zaha, when did 26 become old in football? Like, he's nearing the end of
that. Yeah.
cricket. Fuck off.
I know.
I saw someone say about Harry Maguire the other day, and they're the same age, and I thought, like, what are you on about?
Yeah, I know. I thought this. That was on my Twitter account. Some cunt said, who was that about? Oh, El Sharari. He went to China, and I was like, fucking arguing with this bloke. He's like, oh, he's fucking, they're too old. And I'm like, what? How? What? Yeah. Anyway, Twitter brings out the best in people.
I don't understand when 26. Like, how old are we if 26 are old?
Yeah. Let's not go into that.
Oh, you're double old.
Fuck off, dickhead. Lewis says, name me one player who was perennially injured for us, well, permanently injured for us. He spelled it wrong. For us, that you think would have helped us the most had he been fit.
I mean, it's kind of a wasted question on me, isn't
it? Go on then.
To be fair, it's actually a lot closer. I mean, I'm going to say Jack because it's Jack.
There it is. Well done.
No, as I said, it's a stupid question to ask me. But the correct answer, I mean, look, Jack is the right answer, but the Abbey also isn't wrong. I think anyone else but them two is probably wrong.
I'm going to go a bit more recent. I'll go to last season. I think Holding was if he wasn't injured, I still claim, I don't know if Mustafi would have played as many games. And as a Holding, like, we were so close to the top four, them games that we lost, like, maybe I'm putting Rob Holding on too much of a pedestal as well, but, you know, could have been, maybe. Bellerin, he's another one. But then he was copping a bit of slack, wasn't he, before he got injured about his crossing and all of a sudden. I don't know.
Yeah, no, obviously I've gone long term.
I was just thinking short term.
You don't want to say Jack, to be honest.
Look, it's hard to disagree with you, Jack.
No, I think Shrim would have said the Abbey. Which isn't a wrong answer. The answer's Jack.
Asano? Oh, yeah, that's that Japanese kid. He's in the team.
I thought that was your answer to the question. I was like, what
sorry.
Are you on
Sorry, we are Arsenal. Asano, is he in the team? If he is, why? Because his skills ain't all that, boys. I don't know. I haven't watched nothing of him, so I got nothing.
I mean, he's not travelled. The answer, no, he's not.
He's going to get loaned out again, surely.
Loaned or sold. I mean, everyone's favourite sports writer was saying he's gone to somewhere, but then they're arguing over a loan or a permanent. I mean, with how accurate that guy is, he's probably going to be captain next week. But
we seem to watch our sports writer a fair bit, don't we?
It's comedy gold. I don't tell anyone to block him.
No, it's fine.
No, do you know, to be fair, because look, all he does essentially is find stuff around the world and add his opinion to it. And in all fairness to him, sometimes he finds some quite good obscure stuff. The issue is he adds his opinion to it, and he's a complete cunt.
Yeah, he is.
But he actually digs out some stuff, and you're like, where the fuck have you got that from? And he also doesn't credit anyone, which really pisses me off. He'll just say, from Uruguay. Or
he'll put an Italian flag on or some flag. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
But then you people go, oh, what's the source? So like maybe I can read it or whatever. And oh no, I've told you. No, you haven't. You put a flag up, you nonce.
But he's a sports writer.
That's nonsense. But he does actually find some of the stuff he finds, and you're like, mate, you spend too much time on Twitter. Like, well done, but like, give it a break.
How?
That German keeper that we didn't sign missed his Instagram.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like, he said he was already following her.
Yeah, and then he got blocked. That was fucking gold.
What? For what possible reason are you following And I said, fair play. He's found that bit of information from somewhere. But I mean, come on, just like go and have a walk.
Go and do something.
Like,
He's got a kid now. Don't spend way much time for this in a couple of years. His young kid will be growing up, running around. He'd be a dad, mate. No, there's no time for dads. You didn't know where I was going to go.
I don't know how you got time for it anyway. If I had a day, which is pretty much all of my days, where I have absolutely fuck all to do, like my diary is empty, I don't go and follow girlfriends. Like I couldn't even name. I don't think I could name a single one of our players' girlfriends by name. Like I could tell you, Xhaka's missus is really fit. Ozil's missus is the Turkish bird, who's also really fit. Leno just proposed to his missus, who is also really fit. I couldn't tell you a single name.
Yeah,
I'm following someone's missus who doesn't play for us, who played in Division 2 in Germany. Like, how?
I know. Her account was private too, because I checked it out. And yeah, I don't know. It's fucking.
I don't know if I can name the wife of any footballer. Anyone. Is PK still with Shakira?
Oh yeah, you could name Icardi's missus.
No, she's his agent. I don't know her name.
Who?
Icardi.
You don't know her name?
She's his agent, and her surname is probably Icardi because they're married. That's as good as I can get.
Oh, there you go. I thought you would have knew her name.
No, but I literally, unless they're famous themselves, like Shakira, if they're still together, I don't know if they are. I don't think I can name the wife of any footballer.
I only know Icardi's missus because she's always fucking annoying everybody. That's about it.
I mean, I know she was with Maxi Lopez, wasn't she? But I don't know her name.
Yeah.
Mrs. Icardi.
Mrs. Icardi. Okay, let's go on. Juju, where are we up to? Liam says Emery reportedly wants another centre-half for this season, but no names mentioned. Who would you realistically target if you had a choice?
Look, as I said earlier, I think they're going to go down this probably quite similar to Socrates kind of signing, where it's sort of around the 15 million mark. You know you're going to get 2-3 years out of him, maybe not too much more. If they go down that, I don't know if Jerome Boateng's wages will be too high, but that kind of signing wouldn't surprise me if their wages are half sensible. I think it'll be that type of signing. I can't really put a name on it. I don't know who, but I think it'll be that kind of signing.
Oh, it won't be Daniel De Rossi.
Well, he's not a centre back, so no, it won't.
Yeah, but he can play there.
About 4 foot tall.
Oh fuck!
I like De Rossi, but he's literally a midget.
But I'm just saying, but he can play there. There was a couple of free ones. I'm trying to think. There was a free list running around there the other week. I seen it.
I think. Do you know what? Actually, no shit. I'm surprised no one's taken Mangala, who City have let go for free, essentially.
Oh, that's who it was. Yeah, it was from City.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, would you have him?
No. I don't think he's better than Mustafi, to be honest.
Troy's asking a question. Troy, but mate, unfortunately, the tweet is unavailable. So I think we must be blocked.
It'll be Nexus then, I guess.
It's Heavy D's status. I can see that. Heavy D's blocked us. Don't like
Really?
us. Must have. I can't see the tweet. I can see it's like a Heavy D link. If I click on this link, I'll see what happens.
Just go through your normal account.
What the
It's a message for Stan Kroenke. Stan Kroenke, show us that you care.
Oh, you.
Invest in the club financially, emotionally, and spiritually.
Now I can't get out of this shit.
Just as Arsenal fans do. Give us back our
That's the other thing I didn't get into about the statement.
We care.
Oh, hang on.
Do
Let me
you?
try and get out of this shit now. Good on you, Troy.
Is the other thing I didn't get about the statement? Oh, we want him to be there more. I actually spoke to one of my mates about this the other day, who I get a lot of tickets from. I could not give a rat's ass if Stan Kroenke is at Arsenal games.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't
would you
even
care?
know.
Why would you care?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, it don't make sense to me.
No.
Look, do I want him to care about the club? Yes. Do I give a flying fuck if he's at the Emirates? No. To be honest, I sit below the director's box. I wouldn't know he was there anyway. He'd be sitting directly above me. So I don't get that part of it.
It's weird.
And that's not going to change. You know it's not going to change. And if he's there, he's going to get booed anyway. So what's the fucking difference?
He'll be in Real Madrid next week.
Oh, my God.
He's stepping up in the negotiation tables. Did you see that?
Yeah, I don't think he knows what a Real Madrid is.
I thought they might be putting on a feed. Somebody asked in our WhatsApp group. They said, we've never ever heard Stan talk. I was a bit surprised about that.
He probably... You sent a link, didn't you?
Yeah, I sent a link. Yeah, I sent a link because I said, yeah.
Well, it's because he's known as Stan.
Yeah, but he does talk a lot about his other teams in America. I don't think I've ever seen him talk about Arsenal.
He probably... You could probably dig up a video if you really gave a fuck.
Yeah, true. Kieran says, do the panel think we'll get Zaha? Hearing he has put in a transfer request. That's probably our last question.
I don't think I've been called a panel before.
Panel.
I don't. Obviously, the transfer request is a bit unknown. Do I think we'll get him? I am more confident than not. I'm over 50% yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where are you percentage-wise?
Well, I'm probably 40 to 50% on Zaha.
Really? What? So, what, as a no? So 40% yes or 40% no?
No. I don't know. You know, I can't work out why we went in for 40 million. For the life, that just completely throws me. Unless we go in next for, like you say, when there was reports of a couple of players as well, and then I read Big Roy comes out and says, well, they're not even near the valuation. What is the valuation? Then I read they want 80 million. Would they accept, 50 plus a player? I don't know.
I said at the top of the chart. For me, I think a deal that's total value is 60 gets him. I'd really be surprised if they turn that down. But having said that, if we went and offered that tomorrow, they'd probably reject it. If we went with 50 million first or 50, do you know what I mean? If we do it and make it that like our top end, I think that deal gets him. But I think if we just went and offered that straight, it'd get rejected.
So
the art of negotiation. But this is another thing with Twitter fans, including me. I'm not digging anyone out. We go, why don't we just bid 60 million? Because then they'll go, they'll probably push that a bit. Let's say no. It's the same with Tierney, by all accounts, that we're fucking about with the... Not even fucking about, that we're trying to change the payment structure.
Yeah,
but it's sort of one payment structure. But so now it seems like, from what we read in the press, that they've said we'll take 25 million, but we're offering 18 plus 7 in instalments, and they want more. They want over 20 up front. But had we gone straight away with 20 up front and 5 million add-ons, they'd have probably said no, because you want to push the limit. It's like when you sell anything.
I can almost look, and maybe I read too much into a bit of this stuff. I seen Everton. He's on his Instagram learning English. I don't know why he's learning English. People are saying he's...
Yeah, but so is Allegri. Ask Jack. Shout out whatever at the plug. I think he is. At the plug AFC. It's actually hilarious. Every time he tweets anything, every tweet.
I know. He gets smashed, doesn't he?
he could literally tweet the cure to cancer, and someone would ask where Allegri is.
I know. He gets hammered.
I kind of feel sorry for him.
But
I know he listens as well. So.
Yeah, I know. But the way, Everton... I'm actually leaning towards Everton a bit more than Zaha. I don't know why I am, but I can see if we don't get Everton, I'm picturing. Remember Lamar? We apparently went in 100 million on transfer on deadline day. And obviously, look what happened, didn't get him. I wonder whether the Zaha will happen. You know, deadline day, they'll go on, let's just throw them the 80 million and we'll get this deal done. And Crystal Palace say no, because then all of a sudden they've got to find a replacement. And I think the longer Arsenal leave it, it's going to be harder.
I believe Zaha is first choice, and if we can't get him done, then they'll move. Well, no, I don't know. Well, out of the two especially, but I think Zaha is first choice, and if we can't get him done in, what is it, only 3 weeks now? 3 weeks, it's less than 3 weeks.
2 weeks, so 20 days or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so, yeah. I think we maybe try hard for Zaha in the week after we get back, and if we can't get him, then we move on. But I think Zaha is who we go for first. That's my opinion.
What's Crystal Palace thinking, though? They've got to find a replacement. And I'm not saying they meet with anyone. I think
it'd be very stupid if they hadn't already started sounding out replacements.
Oh, you think so?
Even if they think we're definitely not going to sell him, I think they would already be looking in case he kicks up a major fuss, as in, like, refuses to play and fucking all sorts.
Yeah, okay.
So I'd imagine that they're already... Well, I mean, he's not back from holiday. He's tweeted a picture yesterday where he definitely wasn't in South London. So he's not back from holiday yet anyway.
Yeah, he's got 3 weeks off.
Yeah. But I think Palace will already be sounding out replacements. And you think they've got to replace Wan-Bissaka as well. But what they'll do is they'll use the money coming in to strengthen a few positions. So they'll be looking at players, but they won't be looking at another 80 million winger or 60 million winger, whatever price they put on him. They'll think, we can get a 20 million midfielder, a 25 million striker, or whatever. They'll mix it around, but I'd be amazed if they're not already looking. Even if they're convinced they're not selling him, I'd still imagine they'll be looking.
Well, they could get Fraser pretty quick, couldn't they? Really?
I know. I don't know if he'd go there.
You don't think he would?
Well, look, he's got a year left. If he goes to Palace, then that's basically him at Palace. If he stays at Bournemouth and has a decent year, he's on a free. He'll get a huge sign-on, potentially a very good club. If I was him, I'd take the chance. I would rather than go to Palace. I'd hang on.
Yeah.
Especially if he knows Bournemouth. He lives there. He's probably happy there. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing new.
Yeah. No, that's interesting. Okay, mate. That's about it for us. All the questions are done. You got anything else to add?
No. All good. Shout out to Kevin Campbell for asking us a question. I was quite surprised when I saw that pop up. Although, I don't know if you just looked through our mentions, like 20 people replied to him, and I was baffled. I didn't know what was the question and what was answering.
Yeah, actually, I just refreshed the page, and because I thought just to check if there was any more questions, and I just seen a heap of replies to Kevin. So, but no, look, shout out to Kev, thanks, mate, and we'll definitely have to get you on the pod again. He come on, it wasn't last season before, wasn't it? So.
Not the season, just finished season 4,
Yeah. Okay, that's it. And we've give you 2 hours of entertainment, hopefully. So.
How have we dragged 2 hours out? We literally had nothing to speak.
I know, we've literally dragged 2 hours out. Schwinn goes, what's the topics? Every podcast, we just ramble on. It happens.
Well, it's like I misread a message he sent the other day, Friday night. He said something and I misread it, and I said, what are we even going to talk about? And he was like, what? And then I read his message again. I was like, oh, sorry, I misread it. But when I thought he asked, are we going to do a podcast? And I was like, we have nothing to talk about. And then we still fucking did 2 hours.
Unreal, aren't we? Okay, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. You follow us at @clockand_talk. You'll get Tony there. You get me at Gurnatez. Also, shout out to our Patreon listeners once again. Shout out to our Podcoin listeners as well. I'm going to keep plugging this Podcoin thing. I'm going to get myself a donut.
The whole be like 60 cents. I'll email you 60 cents. Like,
the whole Podcoin thing just spins me out. I'm just cracking myself up every time you listen. You get a point for a donut. It just cracks me up. So anyway, shout out there for all them listeners as well. So. Okay, mate. Well, we might come back next week. We'll see how we go. Hopefully, we've got a signing we can talk about.
Yeah, I think we've got definitely 1, if not 2 games by next weekend. So,
and then we'll come up with we'll have to do our predictions probably the week before kickoff too.
Well, I always, because of the transfer window closing, we're playing on the Sunday, the first week of the season. So I always like to do them after the transfer window. but before the first game, because at that point you know your squad.
Yeah.
Because it's like, say if we done it next week and you went, who's our player of the year going to be? And you could say Zaha and we might not sign him. Or you could say, or whoever ends up winning it might not have signed at that point. So I'd rather wait until the squad is settled. And then I think the transfer window
after the first game?
Thursday. Because,
Oh, you want to do like maybe Friday, so the day after the window shuts?
Friday.
Yeah.
So because I can't do the Saturday because I'm travelling up to Newcastle.
Yep.
So we do like the same things last year. Player of the year, who's going to win this, who's going to do that.
Yep.
Top goal scorer, blah, 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 blah. But if we do it on the Friday, it'll be a preview of the first game of the season, but the transfer window will already be closed.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a good time. But we might be coming back next week if we'll see.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back for that anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.